when do we go to a physio? And how do we know if a physio is good or not? Because that's also something, and obviously, like we're saying, physiotherapist here. I know in like America, they're called physical therapists, aren't
Yeah.
they? But you get it, a body mechanic, whatever, right? Um, when do we go to them? Like, what's the story?
Like, I think the most simple answer here is like, if you're uncertain and you don't know what you're doing, go and seek professional help. Okay. It might be a physio, it might be your GP for a referral for a scan or whatever. But if you're uncertain, seek professional help. I think that's the most, I guess, wise and safe answer I can give. Because like sometimes you'll go and seek professional help and you actually won't get any help and it's just useless. You might get the referral for a scan and the scan returns kind of ambiguous outcomes and you still don't know what you're doing. But I think that dealing with this on your own, especially in the absence of any sort of expertise, can be kind of risky, or not necessarily risky, but will leave you just unsure of what you're doing. And maybe if you're someone that's listening to podcasts like this, maybe you have a better idea of what you're doing. And I think that if you can very clearly make changes to your training that modify your symptoms and allow you to get on the path to recovery, then I don't think you need to be seeing a physio for that, especially if you're someone who's used to modifying your programming. Maybe that your shoulder gets sore when you do certain things. Like, you don't necessarily need to see a physio for that, because like I said previously, if you're dealing with one of these chronic type of presentations where you've got shoulder pain that flares up every now and then when you push too hard in the gym, I'm not so sure that if you go to a physio, they're going to be able to fix that, because like I said, it is a case of you looking at your training, looking to see if there's any red flags, and then modifying accordingly over time. And if you're someone who is very used to managing your training and you've got a good knowledge of strength programming, let's say, your physio probably won't. Like, probabilistically, like it's most likely that your physio doesn't know that much about strength programming. Like, they might know, like, to be fair, you'll find some great physios, but most people that you go to mightn't understand your programming very well. They mightn't even train themselves sometimes. So they mightn't get it, what you're doing. So I think that the other element to that as well is, like, if you're dealing with uncertainty and you're not sure what to do, maybe you are someone who has a good level of knowledge, but you're still not sure what to do, seek a physio that has knowledge that's relevant to you and your situation. So if you're, let's say, a GAA player, go to a physio that works with a lot of GAA players. If you're a power lifter, go to a physio that works with lifters. This is a really, really important point. It's one of your best filtering strategies to try to find someone that can actually help you. Because one of the most common scenarios, and one of the reasons I'm very hesitant to refer people, is that someone will be a power lifter, let's say, deadlifting 300 kilos, and then they go to a local physio who's maybe used to seeing inactive people, and they give them exercises for their knee or their low back with like a yellow TheraBand or very light stretches. And it's just pointless, because this person they're just used to totally different loading, and this makes no dent on anything that they're doing. And without guidance on how to modify your programming, you're going nowhere. And that's what you need. You need guidance on what you actually, as I said previously, what you need to take away, what you need to modify, not just what you can add. And if you're, following a specific strength program and you go to a physio and all that's changed is you got a rub or a stretching program and your programming wasn't even looked at, like, that's a red flag for me, for like, for trying to seek someone else out. So get someone that understands your sport or your context. Similarly, it might be that if you're an inactive person, maybe you're 70 years of age, you don't go to the physio who's generally working with 25-year-old powerlifters. They might still help you for sure, but it's just less likely that they're going to have the expertise. So try to find someone that's specific to your situation, and that's how you're going to get the best outcomes, I think. As I said, my simple rule of thumb for when to seek help from a professional is when you're uncertain. Okay, that's probably very often, to be honest. Seek the professional that's going to give you the most specific guidance. And then, what was I going to say? Oh yes, if you've got symptoms that are completely new to you, and something you're not used to dealing with, I would seek professional help. So you might be used to dealing with an achy joint, let's say, but now you've got like neurological symptoms where you've got maybe loss of sensation in an area, you've got numbness or tingling, you've got an area that's real red and swollen, or specific tenderness on palpation, like that would make you suspicious of a fracture or something like that, that you want to get help for those things. Because sometimes people will think that it's something really benign, that they just, oh, I can just modify my training, whereas they might actually have a fracture, or they might actually have a muscle tear or something a little bit more on the spectrum of requiring professional help. So it's kind of a bit of a cop out answer, I guess, but if you're uncertain, seek help.
Look, as we said on the start of this, look, we can't give all the answers here.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a singular uniform thing. This is the chaotic world that we're dealing with. And as a result, you kind of need to deal with it on a case by case basis. So unfortunately, we can't do it on the podcast. But anyway, Gary, do you have anything else to say about injury, pain management, anything at all?
Um, I don't think so. I think that one of the things you should take heed of is that last point, that you need to find someone that understands your situation and can help you accordingly. And at the risk of self-promotion, we do have coaching spaces available. And I work with people who are experiencing some sort of pain, aches and pains, often many aches and pains associated with their training, because I like to think I understand the training process relatively well. So that's what I try to help people through, especially a lot of people who have those maybe longer term issues that they're trying to deal with, and they want to learn how to modify their programming and to be able to do that on their own in future. That's something I try to help people with. So if you just like fell and like fractures your femur and you're looking for online coaching, like probably not the best time. But if you're someone who has shoulder pain, aggravated by bench pressing or whatever, you don't know what to do, you want to get better results, but this keeps holding you back, then I would be confident in saying that I can give you a helping hand. So no promises that you'll be pain free in 12 weeks, but we will certainly try our best.